it's the Mad Queen. Welcome into the Queen's Lair. I apologize. It has been over a week since I've uploaded. I've been sick, but what better way to release more content than the Crimson Abyss? I'm super excited. The content creators behind the game have known that we were going to be getting some new content or a new dungeon within the game for a while. We just haven't been able to share that. We didn't know exactly what it was going to entail, but I am super excited. When I did log in and see this for the first time, it made me feel really good because I actually specifically suggested, I think it was like 5 or 6 months ago, that we had a dungeon where we could farm these resources specifically, the soul rubelites, the XP, the soul potions. I told them we need more than just the passive income. Whenever you're getting into the really late in-game stages and you're trying to level up heroes, it takes 1 million plus per level, and that is a ton. When you're going through and doing your first clears, of course I can't show you what I got here, but on level 6, I believe I got 8.5 million XP for my first clear reward. And as you see, you just go up and up. 10.5, honestly, what is 15? 13.4 million. Yeah, it is insane. And even if you're only able to get through the first couple of rounds, the amount that you get is honestly pretty game-changing, in my opinion. I also really like that they have made this content difficult. I am having a hard time. I'm struggling. I have only cleared stage 6. When you go to stage 7 to challenge, the boss is 7.3 million. 7.3 million. That is insane. It is so difficult. And you also need summoners for this boss. If you don't know, the best way to beat this is with summoners, because this boss is able to, basically, he does waves of air or whatever you want to call it, and it can push your heroes back farther and farther until eventually they fall off the cliff. If they fall off, they immediately die, of course. And the way you can keep him from really pushing everybody back and minimizing the damage from it is with summoner heroes. That's why you see I do have 4 summoner heroes in here. I don't have all of the summoners in immortal status. These are the ones I do have in immortal, which is why I'm using them. But I'm going to say this is not necessarily the best combination for it. Although this has helped me clear all the way up through stage 6 so far. But you're also probably going to need a healer. And that's really going to be as well, if you can't do a lot of damage output, you'll need someone to keep your team alive. So, of course, you can see I do have a Serena here. Masrani would probably not be a bad option either. Or if you have really good gear and you're somewhere in the later stages of the game, your guild class technology is pretty leveled up, and your gear is good, then you could honestly try to just put in 5 summoners. There is a new summoner support hero you could try to throw in here instead of Serena. It's going to be better for you to use more summoners overall, and it would really be nice to see them come out with some divine prototypes that are targeted for summoner heroes as well, because there really aren't any at this point in the game, and those would be it would make a huge difference to have those to help us go through this specifically. I'm going to go back to stage 6, I'll run it, and I'll kind of show you, well, what it's doing here. I'm just going to do one, but look, it says it recommends 4 million power. I have 2.3 CPU. I believe it's this ability. Yeah, so crystalline breath. The user spits crystalline breath, pushing back enemies and inflicting 50% attack as damage. The more enemies in range, the slower the knockback effect. If you do have the Triple S Commander that you can see that I'm almost kind of blocking here, if you have him, you may be able to get away with not having a primary healer. You also don't necessarily have to use him. You could also use the commander that makes summoners heal. It has lifesteal. You could try that out. A bunch of different combinations. Really, it's going to depend on what you have on your account. I also had been saving up resources for my, what's it called? The guild, where you can level up, you know, the summoners or hunters or whatever, their health and things. I literally just said it like a couple minutes ago and I can't remember. But basically, I had been saving those up because a lot of mine were getting to the point where they were getting really close to being maxed. So I wanted to save some just in case and see maybe where I needed to place those. So I actually plugged them all into summoners so that I could get an even bigger boost. I will say, if you have, hold on, let me go to heroes and we'll click on summoners. If you have these, Anpu, I think is what is how it's called, Anpu, or if you have Sorvali, these are going to be really, really good heroes for you to add in. I would honestly maybe take out, Sinway doesn't seem to be doing a ton of damage there. You might be able to replace him. Also, Kalaza isn't doing too much, but if you don't have a Skewer and Hattie, or if you don't have a Daniel, you can make some kind of mix with these guys. But let me go to the commanders quickly so I can show you the other one I was talking about, but I can't remember his name. It's this, Discar. You can use Discar as well because summoners gain 35% attack and 8% lifesteal for 8 seconds. Then on the Enlighten, all summoners gain 25% attack and 10% attack speed when 3 or more summoners are deployed. One, when an enemy uses a displacement skill, increases received damage by 30%, and it's going to increase the attack and max HP of all allied units by 20%. So if you wanted to try to get away with not using a healer, I would probably recommend using a Discar. Of course, Enlighten is always super good for the summoner heroes, but with the right build, you could honestly get away with having a decent amount of survivability using a Discar. I have not plugged in a bunch of different combinations and tried out a ton of different hero compositions. I literally just got in here and was like, hey, I'm gonna just plug in all of these heroes and just kind of see what happens. I will be working on coming up with some better teams so I can make guides on that to show you how you can progress through it as well. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave those below. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this dungeon? I'll be a little sad if you're not excited about it, but that's also okay. Also, if you are a new player or an experienced player, join my growing Discord community. It's an excellent place for beginners to ask for advice and for experienced players to help share some advice. The link for that is going to be in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.